Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Tim. Today I'm going to be starting a new Silent War 2.0 campaign. This time we're going to be doing Campaign 3, Turning the Tide. Starts in week 1 of April 43. We're already in War Period 3. We have quite a number of ships that count as already being sunk by this time. And we have 12 subs that we've lost so far, and a few that have been permanently removed for training or special operations. It says you can play this either to the end of War Period 3 or through the end of the war. I think I'm just going to be going to the end of War Period 3. I just want to get a flavor for what the game's like later in the war. Where the torpedoes aren't hurting us quite as much, and see how it goes. So we've got everything set up according to the order of battle here. There are a couple of corrections that I clarified with Brian Miller on. I had noticed that the Haddock was not listed anywhere, even though they are in the war at this time. And he let me know that it should be considered, since it's scheduled to withdraw this week, that we basically consider it as already having withdrawn. So I've got them starting over here in the West Coast refit box, along with the others that were listed there. I pointed out to him that Kingfish, which is also scheduled to be withdrawn this week, was shown as being deployed at sea, and he said for the time being, at least until he can get confirmation from Steve Jackson, that should also be considered already withdrawn. So I've got both of those starting in the refit box. But other than that, everything else should be correct. Got all that set up. We've got a submarine tender here in Midway. So that's something new that we can take advantage of. And of course, for this campaign, unlike the last one that we did, we will be able to improve our torpedoes. So once we get our number of ships that we've sunk high enough, we'll be able to start seeing if we can improve. We're currently at -1. That's where it starts for the scenario. But once we get to what was it again? Here we go. Once we get to 270 ships sunk, we start the scenario at 233. So what is that? 37 more ships we need to sink, and then we'll be able to start rolling on this torpedo improvement table. See if we can get that up from -1 to 0. So, and I did want to mention also, I am going to be using the IJN expansion for this playthrough. So I've got all those punched out and sorted into cups and bowls. I used bowls for the destroyers and the auxiliaries just because there were so many of them. And we have the ones removed that are supposed to be removed by this point in the war. And we've got several over there waiting in the wings to come in later. All right, so I think that about covers it. We're going to go ahead and get started then here, I think. So let's go ahead and roll for our war event for turn 1. And we got an 8, so no war event. For those of you that didn't watch my previous playthrough, what I do a lot of times is I'll roll 2 dice at once when there's potentially multiple dice rolls involved. The black die will always be for the first die roll. So the 8 there was to see if we got a war event. If we had, then the white die would have been what the actual war event was. So no war event this week. We don't get to roll on the torpedo improvement quite yet, till, like I said, till we get to 270 ships sunk. So let's roll for our Ultra. We got a 1. A 1 is the East China Sea and the, sorry, that's 0. Empire Pacific and the Gilberts. So let's get those markers out here. Empire Pacific, we've got some subs there already. And the Gilberts. Let's see, still learning my Pacific Ocean geography here. Gilberts are down here. So we do have some that could patrol move over there to take advantage of that if we wanted to. Might do that. All right. So then we go to our weather check. So since we are in April, we need to roll a 0 to get any weather formation. So again, the black die will be the initial roll. If it is a 0, then the white die will tell us where the storm is. We did not get a 0. All right, moving on to the reinforcement phase. We don't start getting reinforcements until May. We've got all of the April reinforcements already accounted for in the scenario setup. So next we can go to our ready submarines phase. We're going to have a lot of rolling to do here. Why don't we start over here at the submarine tender Sperry. We've got 2 subs here. The Trigger and the Wahoo. And the Wahoo actually gets to start with a Super Skipper +1. So they have both have a readiness value of 5. So we'll roll, the black die will be for the Trigger, the white die will be for the Wahoo. And they both make their rolls. So they go ready for sea. Oh, I did want to point out too, they made a change from the original version of the game. They increased the capacity of all of the submarine tenders by 1. However, the counters were not updated to reflect that. So just keep that in mind as we're looking at this here. That actually has a capacity of 7, not 6. All right, so that takes care of that one. Let's go up here to Dutch Harbor. We've got 3 subs that we need to roll for. We'll just go top to bottom there, one at a time. They are all 3s for the readiness. So first one did not make it. Second one did not make it. Third one did not make it. So they all go pier side. All right, moving down to Fremantle. We've got 2 subs there, so we'll do black die for the top, white die for the bottom. They are both 5s. And they both do make it out. They will go ready for sea. And we've got Brisbane. Quite a number here. We'll just pull the stack over here and do them one at a time. So the first one, we need a 5. Did not get it. Second one is a 5. He did get it. Another 5. Yes. Another 5. No. And another 5. No. So 2 made it. Ready for sea. The other 3 go pier side. Then we got this huge stack here at Pearl Harbor. Let's just go right down the stack here. So a 4 for this one. No. Another 4. Yes. 5. No. A 5. Yes. A 4. Yes. A 5. Yes. 5. Yes. Another 5. Yes. A 4. Yes. Another 4. Yes. Another 4. No. A 5. No. Another 5. Yes. A 4. No. And a 5. Yes. All right, so all of these are coming out of Pearl Harbor this turn. Looks like we'll definitely be having to deal with some congregating risk. All right, I think that's it for the ready phase. So then we go on to repair. We do have a few in repair boxes. We've got the silver sides here at Pearl Harbor, needing a 4 to advance. He does not. And we've got 2 here in Dutch Harbor. We'll do top and bottom. They each need a 3 to advance. Black die for top, white die for bottom. And the bottom one does. So S28 moves to repair box 1. And that is all. Nothing in repair at the tender. Actually, I don't think they don't have repair boxes, so. Yeah, I think that'll do it for Triple R. Then we go to our operations segment. So, how do we want to start this? Why don't we do our ultra areas first, so we can get those taken care of. We'll start up here in Empire Pacific. And you'll notice the little battleship icon there in the op area means that we can encounter battleships there. The special battleships. There's certain ones that you can only encounter in Empire Pacific, East China Sea, and the Sea of Japan. All right, so starting with the flying fish, we get a +1 die roll modifier for the ultra area to our search and contact roll. So that'll be on the black die. The second die will tell us what type of contact we came across. Oh, wow, so 9 becomes a 10. It can't be any more than 9. And then a 5. So we're on the War Period 3 line here. 9 is going to be a high density. And 5 for War Period 3 is a large convoy. This should be nice. High density, large convoy. We're in War Period 3, so right here. So we're looking at +1 to all of these values because it is an ultra area. So 4, 4, 3, and 2. I'll set that up on the combat display and be right back. Well, we had some bad luck with the no solution markers this time. Got here, that one's too far. Sea mist. Evading. And over in column D, we had one of them zig away from us. All right. We got a tactical rating of 4. I think we will go column B. Could go aggressive. That would let us reveal all 5 of those red balls. Yeah, let's do that. Aggressive attack posture. Reveal all 5 of these. Merchant, an AP, which will get replaced by an IJN counter. Another merchant, another AP. And oh no, a diligent escort. Yikes. So let's never had the opportunity to run into one of those in our last playthrough. So let's see how this works. If a diligent escort is revealed in a column that does not already have one revealed, unless that deadly division combat event has occurred, which I think allows more than one. If able, you can attempt a crash dive, and then if unsuccessful, we have to roll immediately, applying applicable modifiers from the attack posture table on the diligent escort row of the counterattack table. So it's going to be this row right here, applying whatever applicable modifiers there are. And we can choose to withdraw if we're damaged by them and just forego attempting an attack. So let's see if we are able to successfully crash dive. Just check that real quick, because again, we never had to do that in our last playthrough. Here we go. If a diligent escort is revealed or those combat events, roll a die, subtract any super skipper rating, and compare it to the crash dive rating of the sub. So our sub has a crash dive rating of 0, so we have to get a 0 to successfully crash dive, and we do. So we do not have to roll that attack. We do still get to oh wait, maybe we do roll. Okay, we still roll on the table, but change any result except no effect to spotted. All right, so we do have to still roll, but the worst thing that can happen to us is we were spotted. So again, we're rolling on this diligent escort line. No modifiers. Or no, there is a +1 because we decided to go aggressive, right? So +1 modifier to the roll. So a 2 with a +1 is a 3, no effect. All right, so we're safe from the diligent escort for the time being. However, he's going to be adding 5 to our ASW value this round. We'll have to shift over here to column A if we're going to re-attack. Let's see if we can make a shot on anything. We get 4 TDC markers. So we'll do these 4, obviously. Oh, and before I forget, before I reveal these, we'll replace those APs with their IJN components. We need 2 auxiliaries. So for the one on the left, he is actually going to be, a 16,000 ton oiler named Hayatomo. So this one goes back in Cup A. And for the second, we have a 7,000 ton AX. Not sure what that stands for. Kimikawa. And this one goes back to Cup B. All right. So let's see what we got for target solutions here. A 0. So -3 here would be awesome. -2, okay. +2. -1. Okay, let's see what we can do. Unfortunately, that's in an adjacent column over there. Let's see. Yeah, even this with the +2 on that, that's not even going to be a good shot. These are basically equal because they're the same defense rating, but that one's -2 but has a column shift. So yeah, we might as well see if we can get a shot on this. So our 6 attack rating, -1 for our torpedo value is a 5. We have to subtract 3 for their defense, so we're down to 2. Subtract 5 for the revealed ASW. So we're at -3. And then another negative for adjacent column, so -4. And then even with our bonus to the TDC, that's only a -3. We're still at -1, so we have no shot. So no shot. Well, see, this is interesting because we know the diligent escort, well, maybe he didn't spot us because we got that no event. Because normally if you don't have a valid shot in the first attack round, there's no counterattack, but I wonder if the presence of a diligent escort changes that at all. I'm going to check the rules on that and be right back. Yeah, I see no exception here for diligent escorts. It says if no successful attack can be made in the first attack round, there is no counterattack. Player may withdraw or conduct a re-attack round normally. So, and nothing in the part that talked about when the diligent escort is revealed said anything about it automatically triggering a counterattack round. So we'll play it that way. Seems a bit counterintuitive, but all right, so no counterattack. We will clear off these TDCs. We will shift over to column A to get away from that diligent escort. I think we'll go ahead and stay aggressive attack posture. We just have to reveal that one flag no matter what. So, and it is a merchant. Very good. So again, we will get our 4 TDC markers. We'll go with the 3 in our column and the 7,000 tonner over there in column B. We got a 0 there. All these will be -2 because of the re-attack round and the aggressive attack posture. Unless we get a -3, then it will only be -1. Well, that's interesting. Looks like our best attack is going to be over in the other column there. So let's go for it. We've got again 5 for our attack value after subtracting for the torpedo value, -3 for his defense, no revealed ASW in these 2 columns. Then that's a -4 TDC, so that's another +4. Looks like we need a 6 or less to hit that guy. Yep, just debating on whether we should try to split shots with this. You know what, let's just see what the 2 hit value would be required for this one, just for fun. So 6 becomes a 5, -3 is a 2, no ASW, That's a -1 TDC, so that brings it to a 3. So we need a 3 or less to hit this guy, and a 6 or less to hit this guy. The 16,000 tonner would also need a higher damage roll to actually sink it. I think we'll play it safe and go after the 7,000 tonner. So I believe we said we needed a 6 or less, but then we have a -1 die roll modifier, so it's actually a 7 or less. So we got a 5, but we got a 0 on the white die. With the -1 is going to be nothing. So we totally whiffed the shot. Well, we hit it, but then the dang Mark 14 torpedo decided not to detonate. So I'll get this cleaned up and we will continue. Well, let's go ahead and roll his endurance roll first. He's an A in torpedo value 1, so it's a 5. But we went aggressive posture, so a +1. So we need a 4 or less. 50-50, nope. So he will be RTBing next turn. And we will pause here for some cleanup. All right, on to the pickerel. +1 DRM for the search and contact roll. That's a 1 and a 9. 1 for war period 3 is nothing, but then the 9 is in a red box area, so that's going to be a loner contact. So let's check for war period 3 where we pull the loners from. Here we go. So if the initial rolling for contacts on an area activity chart in which there are red boxes and the die result is a white box, there is a chance of encountering a loner. So on our second roll, we did get a red box, so we have a loner. Let's see. For war period 3, we're going to be drawing from cup C. So let's see what we get. Oh, we got an aircraft. Come on. It's a combat event. Roll the D10. If it's an aircraft, the aircraft receives a single counterattack round, after which combat ends. Oh, that's a bummer. I was supposed to roll to see which column I set up in first, based on the tactical rating. Our tactical rating is 3, equal to or less. We set up in the same column. And we reveal the unit. It's an aircraft, so he gets a single counterattack against us. Value is 1. +3 for the war period is 4. Plus for war period 3, there is 1 red box in the op area, so that's going to be 5 total, minus our 2 defense. So we'll be on the 3 to 4 roll. And there are no modifiers. An 8, ouch. 8 on 3 to 4 is damaged. Did damage us. So then we go to the endurance rating. We do get a -1 modifier for contacting a loner. That's missing from the chart here, but effectively you treat it as if you got no enemy contacts. But we are damaged, so basically those will cancel each other out. We're a C rating, so we're looking for a 3 or less, and we got a 9. So we are RTBing. Not having much luck here so far. That was column C. Let's see how the Pompano does. So again, +1 to the die roll. That's a 4-2. 4 for war period 3 is sparse, and 2 is going to be a small convoy. Sparse small convoy for war period 3. We get to add 1 to each of these, not to the no draw columns. So that's a 3-2. I'll set that up and be right back. All right, here's our display. Looks somewhat promising, but it can fool you. We'll set up in column A. I think we'll just go, let's go aggressive attack posture. That'll let us flip over all 4 of these red balls. Okay, we got a hospital ship. Merchant. Ooh, another converted passenger. And a combat event. See what we get this time. 6. 6 is going to be, oh nice, tonnage doubled. So we get to double the tonnage of the largest merchant ship that we sink this round. So we need to replace this AP with one of the IJN units. Oh, nice. 10,000 ton oiler. If we can get, oh, but it says, I think it's just for merchants. Where'd that go? Largest merchant ship sunk. Oh, but that's right. These are treated as merchants by the rules. So that will count for double tonnage if we're able to sink it. So let's get our TDC markers. We got 3 of them. I want to stay away from that hospital ship. It doesn't, it counts as a sunk ship, but not for tonnage. And so I guess in this case, since we're trying to get more ships sunk as possible, wouldn't be that bad if that's our only good option. But if we had a super skipper, he would be relieved of duty for sinking a hospital ship. All right, well, that could happen, looks like. -2 for that one, +1, and oh good, -2 on the oiler. All right. So we've got no ASW, so that's great. So we're looking at a 4 attack, -1 is 3. The ship defense will take that away. But then our TDCs have an additional -1 for aggressive attack posture, so that's -3. We're at +3. We need with the DRM, we need a 4 or less. Come on, 8. Boo. All right, we will set up for re-attack. We'll stay in this column. I say we stay aggressive. We have to reveal this one no matter what. And it is a destroyer. Let's see what it actually is from our IJN units. Okay, got a little stronger than what we thought it was going to be. Alright, let's see if we can make this happen anyway. 20,000 tons would be sweet. So we're looking at 3. We need our TCs though. We are still aggressive, so we'll get -2 to these, unless it's a -3 TDC, then we only get the -1 for being aggressive. +1 for that guy. Ooh, -3. I might have to settle for that. Yeah, this is gonna be, boy, tough choice here. Oh boy, why couldn't those have been reversed? Well, let's see what this ends up being. 4 minus 1 is 3, minus the ship defense takes us to 0, -2 from the ASW, but then this is actually a -3, so we'd be needing a 1 or less to hit this guy. If we went after this guy instead, we'd be at 3 minus 1 defense, minus the 2 ASW, and then actually back up to 4. With the DRM, that'd be a 5 or less to hit this guy, or I think it'd be a 2 or less with the DRM to hit that guy. 3, 0, -2. Yeah, because we need a 1 or less. The DRM will make a 2 or less. You know what? Let's go for it. Let's go for that oiler. 2 or less. Well, we wouldn't have sunk either one, so that's a shame. Now we have to take a counterattack. So our 2 ASW plus 3 for the war period is 5. We got 1 red box from the area is 6. Minus our 2 defense, be on the 3 to 4 column. And we have +1 for being aggressive and +1 for reattack. So 3 to 4 with a +2. That's gonna be a 9. Ouch. We are damaged as well. So for his endurance check, he's going to be +1 for being damaged and +1 for aggressive. So +2, he's a C rating. He needs a 0 or a 1. And he got a 9. RTB for him. Well, we didn't have much luck in that ultra area. Let's see if we can do better in this other one. So we'll send the Greenling down to Gilbert Islands via patrol movement. There's no transit event check required because there's no red boxes in War Period 3 for the area we're moving into. So search and contact, we'll get a +1. You got to really get a pretty high number to find anything here. It's got to be an 8 or a 9. Nope. So it's a white box, but then the only thing, I think actually for sub versus sub, I don't remember if it's just white box and then a 0 or if they both have to be 0, but either way, that's a nothing. He didn't find anything. So He goes to his endurance check with a -1 modifier for finding no contact. He is an A rating, so he will need a 6 or less. And he gets a 7. Wow. So he will RTB. Let's try the same thing with the guardfish. +1 DRM for the search and contact. That's a 2. That's nothing. There's no red boxes, so we can't even have no chance at a loner either. So he again is an A rating, so he needs a 6 or higher with the modifier, and he doesn't make it. Wow. Gonna be sending everybody back to port next turn, it looks like. And last but not least, we'll send the tuna down there. Again, no transit roll required. +1 for the search and contact, and he gets nothing either. Now he's a B rating, so he will need, with the modifier, a 5 or less to stay out. And he does not. All right, well, the 2 ultra areas ended up being bust. I think we'll go ahead and handle these RTBs next. These were set up with RTB at the beginning of the scenario, and they have to go to particular places. Let me refresh my memory on that. Gatto is RTBing to Pearl. The other 2 are going to Brisbane. All right, so they all have a movement rating of 2. So the Gatto just moves here. No transit check needed, so he's in the broom box at Pearl. And then these 2 are heading down toward Brisbane. They aren't going to make it there this turn, but we'll go here, here. No red boxes for war period 3 in either of those, so no transit check required. So they will be down there. Let's deal with our special mission zone next, so we can take care of everything that has special rules here. So they must voluntarily RTB in the transit movement phase of the first turn. Destination base is up to the player. So nothing about requiring task force results or anything like that. So they will get to try to find something, shoot at it, and then they will immediately RTB back this turn. So we use the activity chart of the connected area, which is going to be the Carolines, and whatever result we get will be increased by 1 level. So we'll start with the Finback. No modifier to this roll. 9 can't be increased any higher. That's going to be, or can it? Oh, actually it can. Yep, because the 9 is only moderate density, but that'll go up to high density because we're in an SMZ. And the 5 for war period 3 is a large convoy. So a high density large convoy. So I'll get that set up. It's going to be, for war period 3, high density large convoy is 3, 3, 2, and 1. So I'll set that up and be right back. All right, here's what we have. We got a no solution in column C, too far. let's try our luck in column B here. We get to flip over 4. I think we'll go standard posture and just flip over these 4 red balls. 1,000 ton merchant, 1,000 ton merchant, 1,000 ton merchant, and combat event. A 5. Oh, wow. Cui favit fortuna. Whom does fortune favor? One side or the other has fortune smile upon them. If this event occurs, roll a d10 die to determine the type of fortune affecting combat. All right, let's roll and see what we get. We got a 4, which is perfect setup. The submarine approach was perfect. Proceed normally, except that all TDC markers for this round have negative values. Nice. Otherwise, we would have had that deadly division event that we mentioned earlier, which is not good. All right, so everything will be a minus. That could prove helpful. We'll get our 4 TDCs. Too bad we just got a bunch of little small fries here. Could take our chances with one of those unrevealed ships, I suppose. Which one should we choose? Let's try the one in our column. Alright, so that's a -1, -2, -2, -2. So no advantage really. Got a 6 attack rating. I'm thinking this might be a good opportunity to try a split shot. Let's see what that works out to be. So if we do 3 on each of these, that's going to be, for this guy, will be 3 minus 1 is 2, and then another +2. So we need a 4 or less for this guy, which means we need a 3 or less for this guy. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll send 3 at each of them. We'll do the top one first. So that's where we need a 3 or less. We should have done the bottom one. Missed him. So now 4 or less for the bottom one. Of course. Of course. All right. I think we'll stay in this column. No, we'll have to flip over those, all 3 of those if we do that, won't we? Let's slide over to here. I'm just debating if we want to go aggressive this time. Yeah, let's go aggressive this time. So we flip over these 2. Oh, good old aircraft is back. And a destroyer. Of course. Alright, so we need a destroyer from the IJN mix. And we got, oh, he's worse. Got the Hamikaze. This one goes back to B cup. Boy, oh boy. We're just not having very good luck today. Alright, here we got a -1. That's good. -2. Alright. So this is going to be our best shot because he's only got 1 defense and he's in our same column. So let's see what that'll yield us. We got our 5 attack, -1 defense, -4 ASW takes us to 0. This TDC is actually a -3 because we got our reattack round bonus and our aggressive posture bonus. So we're at a 3. We have a -1 DRM, so we need a 4 or less again. Hey, this time we got it. And that 5 should sink a 1,000 tonner. -1 modifier is a 4, so yep. We got our first sunk ship, at least from when we actually started playing, to add to our 233 that had been sunk before we started playing. And we got another 1,000 tons. And now the counterattack. 4 plus 3 for the war period is 7. There are no red boxes in the connected op area. So 7 minus our 4 defense. This is not shallow. It's going to be 3. So we're on the 3 to 4 row. And we've got +1 modifier for reattack, +1 for aggressive. And so that 5 becomes a 7 on the 3 to 4 row. Just spotted. So for our endurance check, we are an A. We were aggressive, so a +1, so we need a 4 or less. 1. So he gets to, oh no, sorry, I forgot. He was in an SMZ, so no endurance check. He immediately voluntarily RTBs. So he's actually in this op area. And that said, our choice of port was up to us. I think we've got enough boats at Pearl Harbor right now, so let's send him down to Brisbane. So he will not be able to make it all the way there, but he can get to the Coral Sea. And no transit event check required, no red boxes. And then the Porpoise. Again, we get to increase whatever level we get by 1. He again gets a 9, so that's going to be moderate, bumped up to high density. And 8 is going to be a task force, I believe. Yes, it is. We've got a high density task force for war period 3. It's going to be 1224. So we'll set that up and be right back. All right, here we go. We got a zigged away there in column D. I'm not really liking any of what I see here, so I think we'll try our luck over here in column D. Maybe we can get a warship and get a nice TDC on it. Or if we get a lot of really bad stuff, we might just bug out and say no thank you. All right, so we reveal 2. We could go cautious and only have to reveal 1. Yeah, let's just go standard. Let's do this top one. Okay, 13,000 ton cruiser. And we'll try this one. Oh, there we go. All right. So far, so good. Another 2 TDCs. A 0 and a -1. Well, we're definitely not going to have a shot on that cruiser with 5 defense. Let's see if we can do something with this merchant. We've got 4 attack, -1 is 3, -2 for the defense, and then +1 back for the TDC. So we need a 2 or less. Hey, there we go. And that 5 is enough to sink a 4,000 ton. With our -1, it goes to the 4. So we did it. 4,000 more tons. Oh, I forgot. I mean, I don't think I was going to take a shot at it anyway, but this CA needs to be replaced with an IJN unit, which is actually it is a 13,000 ton, the Mogami. Same defense rating. Now I need to check, that's got an aircraft capable symbol on it. I need to refresh my memory on what that means. I don't think it'll affect our roll because we got a 1, but let me get the IJN book. Here we go, aircraft capable ships. If it has an ASW factor, the value is used as if an aircraft for revealed escort level and for counterattack. Okay, so this one does not. If it did, it would count as an aircraft, so it would be in play for no matter what column it was in. If it has a 0 ASW factor, it has no value for calculating revealed escort level, but is considered to have an aircraft ASW value of 1/2 for purposes of counterattack. Okay, so I think that means that it doesn't affect our to-hit roll, so we don't have to take it into account for that, but he does count for counterattack as 1/2. All right, so we did in fact sink this 4,000 ton merchant. So we'll send him back to the cup and record another ship and 4,000 more tons, which will take us to 982. Now for the counterattack, we have the 1/2 ASW, which will round up to 1, and then our 3 from the war period level. Again, no red boxes in the op area. So that 4 minus our 2 defense is going to be on the 1 to 2 row, and we have no modifiers. We got a 0. So that is nothing. I'm thinking we'll go ahead and stick around for a re-attack round. Maybe we can get another juicy target here in column D. We only have to reveal 2, but they have to be IJN flags. Could go cautious. Why don't we do that? Let's go cautious. We'll just reveal this 1. Okay, it's a CV. So again, we need to replace that. This is undoubtedly going to be aircraft capable as well. Hopefully only for, yeah, it has no ASW value, so it'll just be for the counterattack, which will, his half and the other half will just add up to 1. So no worse than what we had. We got the Unyo. All right. Well, hopefully we can get a nice TDC on him. He's only got 3 defense. These will be -1 for the reattack round. -2 on him. Oh, a +1. Darn it. Yeah, so actually the better shot is going to be on the cruiser, if we have one. Let's see, 4. So we'll choose this as our unmodified TDC. We'll send all 4 of our attack against it, which gets bumped down to 3. -2 for the, when we take out the 5 defense, but then that TDC is actually a -3, so that'll bring us back up to +1. And no die roll modifier since we're targeting the unmodified one. So we need a 1 or 0 to hit the cruiser there. And we did not get it. For the counterattack, again, we're at 1 total because it's a half from this guy, a half from this guy. Plus our 3 for the war period takes us to 4, minus our 2 defense. We're on the 1 to 2 row again. This time it's reattack and cautious, so those modifiers will cancel out. So it's still just a straight roll on the 1 to 2 row. And a double 0, look at that. Get that for search and contact, and we can go after an enemy sub. All right, well, we got away unscathed, but also came up empty. So he, again, immediately voluntarily RTBs, and we'll just send him down here to the Coral Sea as well. Not having to do transit event checks, so congregating risk isn't going to play a factor there. All right. Well, I think I'll clean this combat display up, and then we'll come back and figure out where to go next. All right, I think we'll just start over here on the left and work our way across. So in the South China Sea, we've got the Tautog. He is in shallow, but not narrow, so no modifier to the contact roll. That's a 1 and a 2. 1 is going to be no contact, and 2 doesn't get us a red box result, so he finds nothing. For his endurance check, he's a B rating with -1 for not encountering any contacts, so he's going to need a 5 or less. And he gets to stay out. The Trout, same thing. 4 and a 9. 4 is just in the sparse there. 9's going to be a task force, of course. So we've got a sparse task force for him. Let's get our current operating area over here. So I'll set that up and be right back. All right, here's our sparse task force. And another one that zigged away on us. I think we try our luck in column D again. We've got a tactical rating of 4. Yeah, let's just go standard attack. We'll reveal these 4. Boo. Hopefully that ASW value goes down. Oh, really boo. This is going to be pretty rough, I think. So we need a cruiser. Put over here. And we got the Nachi. And then we need 2 destroyers. We'll do the one for column C first. That's a little bit better. And the second one is a lot better. Okay, that goes in D. So we've got the Samadari and the Mikasuki. All right, so we get our 4 TDCs. At least we're down to only 3 ASW instead of 5. All right, +2, -2, +2, +1. These are not very good. Let's see. I don't know if we'd have a shot on this guy. 6 - 1 is 5. Minus his 6 defense is -1. -1 for the column shift is -2. Be up to 0. So we do have a shot at this guy. We have to roll a 0. And then the next closest one would be this. So let's see what we can do with him. 5 - 5 is 0. Oh, but I forgot about the ASW, didn't I? Let me do that again. 5 - 6 is -1. Yeah, the ASW, yeah, of 3 puts it out of reach. This guy too, I think, out of reach. So yeah, we don't have a shot on anything. And I don't think it's worth sticking around. I mean, we wouldn't have to flip any more ships. We're gonna have to take 2 counterattacks at 3. +3 is 6. And then there is a red box in that op area, so that'd be 7. Be on the 3 to 4 row. If we slid over here to try to get a better shot on him, we'd have to flip that one over. I mean, it would be nice to get this, but even if he had a, let's say he got a -3 next time, then we'd be looking at 5 - 5 is 0. -3 for the ASW is -3. So yeah, we'd have to have him get a -3 or a -2, because it would go to -3. Unless we went aggressive, then even a -1 would do it. But then we'd still only be able to hit him on a 0. I don't think it's worth the risk. So we'll just withdraw. And he's going to need, with his B rating, a 4 or less to pass his endurance check. He did not get it. So he will RTB next turn. All right, let's come down here to the Java Sea. Very familiar with this area from my last campaign. So this one's shallow and narrow. So we will get a +1 on the contact result, or the search and contact roll for being narrow. So let's see what he can find. Well, interesting. So we might have a sub-resub. Let's see. So that +1 is going to be a white box result. So let me see what it says again about sub v sub. Okay, here we go. All right. Color box determines the activity level. White, no contact. See bullets below. So if neither the below is the case, proceed to step B. If the box is white and the row has at least one colored box, we roll a second die. If the second roll is in a red box, a loner has been contacted. So it really should say if it contains at least one red box. There's no point in rolling if there isn't a red box. And then the second one is if the unmodified initial roll is a 0, which it was, and the second roll is also a 0, the submarine has encountered an enemy submarine. Proceed to the sub v sub combat segment, which is in 14.6. So this is exciting. Something new. All right, no wolfpack involved. Make a die roll, -1 DRM if the submarine is spotted. It's not damaged, does not have radar. If it's a 0 to 2, the enemy has spotted us. If it's a 3 to 9, we have detected them first. And I think, yeah. So no modifiers. So 0 to 2, they spot us. 3 to 9. Okay, we found them first, which is good. Consult the enemy submarine table in 30.3. It's going to be in the scenario book. Right there. Determine what enemy submarine pieces are available based on date and op area. And then we randomly draw one. Place the submarine which detected the other first in the submarine box of any column, and the detected submarine in a target box. Okay, so we'll go in the column. We'll have to clean all that up here in a minute, but I'm going to sort all this out first. So we are in April of 43. So none of these three are, so it's just going to be the Japanese subs, except for the L4, because it got withdrawn in actually this month. So it could be any of those other Japanese subs. So let me get them, and we'll draw one at random. and then see where we go from there. All right, so here are all the Japanese subs, and I've been trying to make sense of this. So we know for sure that the L4 was withdrawn this month, so he's not available. And we've got the KD4, which says it's available starting 4/32 until 7/44, so that's definitely an option. The C1 starting in 12/41, so he's available. The KD7 in 2/42. And here's where it gets a little goofy. The K6, the table says it's available, that class is available in 3/43. This particular K6, though, which is only one of, it has an availability date of 4/43. And there was this note that was included with the game that I think was trying to explain this, but I'm not sure I completely understand what they're trying to say. It says the dates available on the enemy submarines table only refer to the dates those types of subs can be used. The dates on the corresponding counters are the dates for specifically named submarines of those types. So I think it's saying that this is when that class of submarine is generally available. Sorry, the table entry. But then this is when that particular sub of that class is actually available. But I'm a little confused because, like, for example, the K6, there's only one of them. So which ones are available in 3/43? None. But in any event, it appears that this one is available to us. But then the D1s, of which there are two, the class is supposedly available starting in 7/42, but neither of the ones we've actually been given in the game are available that early. They're not available until July 44 and October 44. So I'm assuming that means these are not available yet. So I don't know if this is for possible future expansions to the game that will include more Japanese subs of those classes, but or just for historical reference that that's when that class was actually available, but these particular ones aren't until later. And then there's this I-400, which isn't even on the chart, so I'm not even sure what that one's for. But it's not available until 2/45 anyway, so I think, if I'm understanding this correctly, these are the four that we can choose from. So we'll just kind of mix them up here in something and choose one at random. Or we could, let me actually grab a D4 here real quick. All right, so let's line these guys back up. So 1 through 4, top to bottom. And we got a 2. So it's going to be the I-183, sorry. So he will get set up in a target box. Sorry, this is taking so long, but this is all new to me. And probably to a lot of you as well, so hopefully this is helping. All right, so we'll clear all this out. It goes back in C. These are DDs, and That's a CA. Okay, so continuing where we had left off in the rules. We draw and reveal a TDC marker for the target submarine. We got a -2, nice. All right. Conduct one attack round using standard attack posture. Total the following for the attacking submarine. Attack rating, 6. No super skipper. -1 if in shallow waters, which we are, so we're down to 5. There's no tropical storm or typhoon. In fact, I just saw a post recently on Board Game Geek that was questioning this -2 for typhoon when somewhere else it apparently says that you can't encounter a sub in a typhoon. So then the Mark 14 torpedo value, which is -1, so we're down to a 4. Allied submarines use the current value. Signed another torpedo. Yeah, we're not using Allied subs. Japanese torpedoes have a value of -2. So that would be if they were attacking us, or German and Italian, if they were attacking us, they'd get a +1. All right, so we're at a 4, and then for the target submarine, we got his defense rating, which is a 2. The TDC marker value, so that takes him down to a 0. And no super skipper for him. So he's at 0, I'm at 4. So we subtract the target's value from the attacker's value to get a result and roll a d10. If it's less than or equal, target has been hit. So we need a 4 or less to hit. And then if it is hit, we consult the 1 to 4 row of the attack results, roll another d10, adding the torpedo value from above, and then another -1 if the attacking submarine is US or British, which it is US. So we're basically going to have a -2 on the attack results table if we hit them. So we need a 4 or less on the black die. Did not get it. Naxos submarine is sunk. Advance the ship sunk marker by 1 and the tonnage sunk. Ends following a single combat round. There is no counterattack or reattack. So that's it. So we can move on to his endurance check, which is going to be, he's a B rating, and so a 4 or less. Nope. He will RTB. All right, well that was fun. We got to see how sub versus sub combat works. Next we've got the Grenadier. Again, for the narrow area, we get a +1 to the search and contact roll. That's going to be a 4 and a 7. 4 is just going to miss. You didn't find anything. And the 7 doesn't give us anything either, so that's going to be for his endurance check. So a 3. He's a B rating, so he'll get to stay. So you got a -1. So he basically needed a 5 or less. So he'll get to stay in patrol there next turn. All right, moving on over to the North Philippine Sea. No narrow modifier here. Period 3 only. So it looks like maybe we can encounter those special battleships here during War Period 3. Let's see if we get one or not. All right, so a 3 and a 9 is going to be a sparse task force. Sparse task force is 1123. I'll set that up and be right back. All right, I think we will set up in column D. Got a tactical rating of 4. Let's go cautious. That way we only have to flip over 3. We'll do the 3 in our column. Oh no, the dreaded aircraft. Oh, but it's only 1/2. Okay. All right, so we need to get an auxiliary to replace that AP with. And we got the 16,000 ton Hayatomo. All right, let's see if we can make something happen here. Get 4 TDC markers. Almost put one on the airplane, can't do that. Okay, -2, +2. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Let's see if we can sink this oiler there. All right, so this will be our designated unmodified TDC. So we've got our 6 minus 1 is 5. We subtract the 3 defense of the ship. We add back in 2. Then we've got a half ASW, which will subtract 1 from us. So we need a 3 or less to hit this guy. And a pretty big number to sink it on the white die. And we did, but we only got a 5 on the black die, unfortunately. All right. Counterattack. We've got a half. Where are we at again? We're in the North Philippine Sea, so there's 1 red box there, so that's going to be 2, and then 3 more for the war period. So we're at 5 for him, minus our 3 defense. We'll be on the 1 to 2 row. We are cautious, so -1. So that's a -1. Perfect. I think let's, boy, just worried about flipping these 2 over, what they might be hiding. I really want to take another shot at that tanker. So we'll stay cautious, just in case we get some nasty counterattack here. Oh, good, that's a CL, okay. Oh, that's a CV, okay, perfect. I should have upgraded to standard attack. All right, so we need to get replacements for those. So CL. a light cruiser, I believe. That is actually the Nagara. And the other one is a carrier. Probably going to contribute to the counterattack. He is 27,000 tons. The Shokaku. Highly doubt we'll be able to get a shot at him, but let's see what unfolds. We remained cautious, so we were afraid of a big, nasty counterattack. So we're only going to be able to pick one TDC to be unmodified. We still place 4. All right, +2, -2 on the Shikaku, which is a -3. Huh. Well, maybe we will take a shot at it. Let's see. So 6 -5 is going to, or minus our 1 is 5, and then minus his defense of 5 is 0. The ASW takes it to -1. And then the TDC will bring it, and then the column over will take it to -2. The TDC will bring it up, so at the -3, to 1. So we'll need a 1 or less to hit him. What if we went after this guy instead? That would be 5 -3 is 2, -1 for the ASW. And then that's a -1. So that would be a 2 or less to hit him. Is that right? So 2 or less to hit him. I already forgot what the other one was. 6, 5, 0, -1, -2, 1. So we need a 1 or less to hit him, a 2 or less to hit him. I say let's go after the carrier. 1 or less, we're going to need a really big number on that second die. 0.9 would be ideal here. 8.2. Okay. So we missed the carrier. Our counterattack now, since he's aircraft capable, he contributes 1/2 to the counterattack. It's still only 1. Plus our 3 from the war period and 1 red box from the area is 5, minus our 3 defense. And it's going to be 1 to 2 row again, this time +1 for reattack, but -1 for cautious. So straight roll on the 1 to 2. And it's a 2, which is going to be nothing. All right, well, that was a shame. CL goes back there. CV goes back there. Oiler goes back there. D cup, B cup, A cup. All right, he's a B rating. And oh, you know what? I forgot we were in shallow waters. So there should have been another one on those counterattacks, but either way, even on the 3 to 4 row, a 2 and a -1 is still nothing. So same result, Just should have subtracted 1 from our defense for being in shallow waters. It's an easy one to forget. All right, what were we doing? Oh, endurance roll, B rating, so 4. None of the modifiers apply. He gets to stay. Down to the South Philippine Sea and the, what am I talking about? We were just up here, so just disregard everything I said about shallow waters. I don't think we had any counterattacks here. Maybe we did. I'll review the video and make a note if I made a mistake there. All right, so Tambor, no modifier here, just a straight roll on the activity chart. 1 and a 4. That's probably going to be nothing. Yep. He found nothing. So he's a B rating. He's going to need a 5 or less since he encountered no contacts. And he got a 7. So he will RTB. We already did them, so let's go to the Marianas next. Deep water here, so straight roll, 1 and 7. That is going to be a big nothing. The 7's not a red box result, so we don't even get a loner. So the whale finds nothing. He's an A rating, so he's going to need a 6 or less to stay out. He does. To the, let's pop over here and do the Bismarck Sea first. Halibut will, you know what? He might have more luck over here in the South Philippine Sea. So let's have him transit move over there. Or not transit move, patrol move, sorry. So he will need to roll for a transit event, but only a 9 will cause a possible check. You got a 1. So for search and contact, 9 and 6. So 9's going to be high density. 6 is going to be a large convoy. High density large convoy is going to be 3321. So I'll set that up and be back. All right, we got 2 no solutions here. Too far for that one. Evading us. All right, I think I'm just gonna go column A here. Hopefully we get something kind of big here. We're at a 4 tactical rating. I say let's go aggressive. I'll flip over these 4 anyway. Oh no. Combat event. Combat would be nice. 1. Oh, surface gunnery, but with that revealed destroyer, we're not going to be able to do that. So that is ignored. And then our 4th flip. Actually, we get 5 flips, but we can't flip 5. Ooh, nice. Okay. Well, if this gets replaced with something wimpy, that would be perfect. Well, not wimpy, but not quite as strong. We got the Ikazuchi. And we also need to replace that AP with an auxiliary. We got a 9,000 ton with lower defense. That's nice. The Goshu Maru. He goes back in A. All right, let's see if we can make this work. I'm going to replace this TDC cup with a bowl. It's too hard to try to dig down there and make sure you're not getting the same ones on the top every time. All right. +1 for him. -1, good. Ooh, and -3. Yes, sirree. I think we'll go after that 8,000 tonner. All right, so we got 6 -1 is 5. Minus his 3 defense is 2. -2 from the destroyer. -1 for the column over. It's a -1, but then we are aggressive, so that is actually a -4 TDC. Aggressive does allow you to go below -3. So that's going to add 4 back, which gives us 3 as our target number. And our -1 DRM will produce a hit on 4 or less. There we go, 4, but a 1 is not going to do anything. 8,000 tons, 1 down to a 0 is no effect. That is a shame. We will be counterattacked. We're at 2 + 3 is 5. 1 red box in the op area makes it 6. It's not narrow or it's not shallow. So 6 minus our 4 defense is the 1 to 2 row, and we get a +1 DRM for being aggressive. 2 + 1 is a 3. That's going to be nothing. All right, I think we just stay here, stay aggressive. Let's see what happens. All right, be some good ones. Okay. That's not great. That's not great. So maybe we can take this destroyer out. Let's see. So that's going to be a -3 from being a reattack round, and then -4 for being aggressive. So we've got our 6 attack down to 5. -6 defense is -1. And then the 2 ASW takes it down to -3, and then +4 from the TDC. So we need a 1 or less to hit the destroyer. Let's see what we can do against this. 6 -1 is 5, -3 is 2, -2 for the ASW is 0. But then that is actually a -2 TDC. Sorry, a -1. So we need a 1 or less on that. So yeah, let's go after the auxiliary there. 1 or less, but then 2 or less because we're aggressive. Nope. didn't have enough to sink it on the second roll either. So, all right, a couple more misses. Counterattack will be 2, 5, 6. -4 is 2. So we're on the 1 to 2 row again, but this time we got +1 for reattack, +1 for aggressive. So 1 to 4 row +2. That becomes a 5. And that's no effect. All right, so he has an A rating. We did go aggressive posture. So he's going to need a 4 or less. And you got it. So he can stay there. These go back to their areas. And let's continue on over here to the Carolines. Again, no narrow or shallow here, out in the deep, deep part of the ocean. So the pike, see if he can find anything. 6 and 4. 6 is going to be sparse. 4 is probably a small convoy. Yes. Sparse, small convoy. It's going to be 2 and 1. Set that up and be back. All right, we're going to set up in column A here. We'll stay standard attack posture, so we only have to flip over 2. Oh, come on. And a hospital ship. Wow. Well, I guess we'll be a little unethical here and try to take that hospital ship out. All right, so we've got a, oh right, we got to replace this guy, sorry. Probably going to get something worse than a 1/2. Nope, I didn't. Got his mirror image. The Namikaze. I think we've seen him before. We've seen some kind of Kazi before. All right, so 4 minus 1 is 3. Minus the 2 defense, minus the 1. So we need a 0 to hit. And we did not get it. Counterattack is going to be 1 plus 3 is 4. There are no red boxes in our op area. So 4 minus 2 will be on the 1 to 2 row with no modifiers. 8, ouch. That's going to be spotted. I don't think it's worth sticking around now that we're spotted, and all we really got is a hospital ship to try to go after. That's probably going to be something bad. So we'll just withdraw after the first attack round. Our C rating means we will need a 3 or less to stay around. We do not. Just out of curiosity. We made the right choice. Back there. Okay. Next we got the tarpon. You got a 5 and a 0. It's going to be a small convoy, sparse small convoy. Sparse small convoy. That's what we just had before. 2 and 1. Set it up and be back. Well, easy choice of where to set up here. We got CMIS there in column B, so all we have are our 2 targets in column A. Let's go aggressive posture. Hopefully these are both non-warships. Our hospital ship is back. All right, +3, come on. Both of them. Wow. They're +2s because we're aggressive. Let's see what we can do. 4 minus 1 is 3. -1 for the defense, going after that top one. -2 for the TDC. So we're at 0. Then we have a +1 modifier. So a 0 or 1 will hit. Nope. No reattack. Same column. Or no, counterattack, I mean. We will reattack. Come on. And we did stay aggressive. Really? You're gonna give it to me on the hospital ship, huh? I want the tonnage, so we're gonna go after this guy. 3 minus 1 is 2. This TDC is now a -1. So that'll add 1 back. So we need a 3 or less, but we have +1 die roll, so 4 or less. Come on. All right. Got AHs, don't believe they get replaced, just AOs and APs. All right. Endurance check. C rating. We were aggressive, so we need a 2 or less. Nope. RTB. I'll run out of RTB markers at this rate. Then we have the Tunny. Huh. 0 and a 7. No red box, so no possibility of a loner. So he is A rating. No contacts found, so he needs a 6 or less. 0. Now I get a 0. All right. And let's go to the marshals, and then we'll finish up in the Aleutians. And then we got all these subs at the bases that are ready to come out that still got to move out. So, all right. Pollock, Marshall Islands. Only at 8 or 9 we'll find something there. I wonder if we should send him somewhere else. Why don't we send him up to the Bonans? Patrol move there, transit event check. Only on a 9. He does not have a transit event check. So let's see what he can find there. 1 and an 8. Almost a loner. If that second die would have been a 9. So nothing for him. He's a C rating. With the -1, he needs a 4 or less. He gets it. I get all these zeros on the endurance checks. What's up with that? Okay, then the Aleutians. And again, I think the Kuriles are some better hunting here in War Period 3. So let's send this guy over here. Again, only transit event on a 9. Nope. So his search and contact is going to be 8 and 1. It's going to be a moderate density, small convoy. 3, 2, 1. Set that up and be back. All right, I think we'll go for column B. This is an S1 boat, so he's got some really poor stats. We'll just go standard attack posture. We'll just reveal the 2 in our column. Okay, that's good. We need some help from the TDC, though, with his low attack rating there. Oh, there we go. All right. So effectively this cancels out his defense. So we're looking at our 3 attack -1 for the torpedoes. So we need a 2 or less. Hey, there we go. I knew it would happen eventually. That 8 is well more than enough to sink that 3,000-ton merchant. From column B. So we got 1 more ship, 3 more 1,000 tons. All right, no counterattack. I think maybe we'll go cautious for this round, so we only have to flip over 1. And we'll do this one in column C. Okay. We got to replace that with a CA from IJN. And we got the Izumo, which actually is a named ship in Silent War too. All right, that goes back on Cup C. Now let's see if maybe we can get a shot on him. I guess ships are hers, so a shot on her. Okay, flippity flip and flippity flip. Doubt we'll be able to hit this one. Do get a -1 for the re-attack. And then whichever one we designate will be unmodified. So if we did this one, it would be 2 minus 3 is -1. Then that would be a 0. So yeah, we don't have a shot on the Azumo. Do we have a shot here? We should. Oh, right, and there was another -1 for the column over, so definitely not there. So we'll make this the unmodified TDC. 2 minus 2 is 0. And then that TDC is actually a 0. So yeah, we have a shot, but we got to roll a 0. Can we do it? Yes, but that 2 is not going to be enough to sink it. Just damages it. And then the damage doesn't carry over, so he will get away. For our endurance check, we've got he's a D rating. We did not go aggressive, so right, yeah, we stayed passive both times. So no modifiers, D rating, he's gonna need a 2 or less. Hey, you got it. He gets to stay out another week, and let's do the same thing with the S32. Again, transit events check only on a 9. 7, so he's good. Search and contact. Got a 6 and a 9. So sum 6 is low density. 9 is going to be a task force. Low density task force. War period 3, 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay, I think we'll have him set up in column B. And let's go aggressive for this first round. We'll get to flip over 3. We'll do this one, and this one. Combat events. Zero. What is 0? Ooh, nice. This is a good one. Target lumbers into way. A Japanese ship suddenly crosses the path of one or more torpedoes. Conduct the combat phase normally, but prior to conducting the first attack round, choose any face-down red ball flagged ship in this or an adjacent column, reveal it, and determine if it is sunk. To do this, roll a die and add the current torpedo value on the correct target size line of the attack results table. Continue the attack round normally. If no eligible ships are on the display, ignore this event. A diligent escort revealed this way does not get to roll on the counterattack table as if revealed in 1413. All right, so we get to, so that was our last reveal. If we had any more, we would continue revealing first. And then before our first attack round, we get to flip over one of these red balls and basically get an automatic hit on it. And then we get to roll to see if we damage or sink it. So I think we'll do the bottom one. Nice. Okay, so rolling on the 1 to 4. So we got a -1, so we need a 4 or higher to sink it, and a 2 or higher to damage it. Oh, come on, really? All right, now we do our normal attack round. Oh, but first we got to replace this with an auxiliary. And we got another oiler, the Naruto. A bit low defense, that's good. I think we want to put one, I got to place 2. Let's do one here for sure. Yeah, why not? Let's go after that 16,000 tonner. It's too good to pass up a chance at. Even if it's a smaller chance than the 1,000 ton. Okay, 0, it's probably not going to be good enough. All right, we did go aggressive posture. So those are all -1s. So yeah, I think we go after him if we can. Not sure we can though. That's going to be a -1, which basically knocks his defense down to 2. Or another way to put it, it effectively negates the column effect. So yeah, unfortunately, we only got 2 attack against his 3 defense, so we don't have a shot there. Even though the -1 modifier would allow a 0 to hit, if your value before the modifier is negative, then you can't take the shot. We should have a shot at this one though. So 2, that's a 0. So basically 2 - 1. So we need a 1 or less, but our die roll modifier means we need a 2 or less. Nope. All right, so I think for re-attack, we will slide over here. That way we don't have to reveal anything else. We will stay aggressive. And we'll get 2 more TDCs. Okay, be a -3. Oh, still might work. Because it's effectively a -2 with all the modifiers on it. So that's a -2, which is bringing his defense down to 1. Our attack of 3 gets brought down to 2. So we need a 1 or less, 2 or less with the modifier. Come on, this would be a great one here. Nope. Okay. That will do it for him. He has a D rating as well, and he was aggressive. So he's going to need a 1 or less to stay around. Of course, now I roll a 0. Of course. All right, that's all our subs that were at sea. So let's start bringing all these guys out from these ports. Why don't we start with these ones that are here in Midway, so they're actually leaving from the North Pacific op area. Where do we want them to go? What are they? Ooh, a 744. Another 744 with a super skipper. We want to send them somewhere where they can really do some damage. They can move 2. So I'm thinking maybe get them up into Empire Pacific. We have 3 there now. So the 5th one moving in would cause congregating risk, but I think that's tolerable. All right, so let's move in the trigger first. So he will go 1, 2. And the area with the most red boxes is either one. So we'll choose to use Empire Pacific's area. So he's -1 because he's on his transit side. So actually there's no chance of rolling a transit event. So then he will move down patrol side. And then we will send him there as well. Now he will have +1 for congregating risk, -1 for being on his transit side. But I don't know, I don't remember if Super Skipper helps for transit event checks. Let me see. Does not look like it. So basically a 9. The only thing that would be bad. So he got a 6, so he's good. So he'll patrol there next turn. And I need to pause here to charge my battery. All right, continuing on here with our subs that are leaving port. We've got 2 coming out of Fremantle here. And I'm thinking for them, we want to get, we got all these guys that were in, we got 1 guy staying there, 1 staying there. I think we want to get some more subs up here into South China Sea 1 and South China Sea 2. Looks like we got pretty good odds of finding something there. So we'll send them up that, excuse me, that direction. So we have the Gar. He will leave Fremantle and sail through the Java Sea into the South China Sea 2 area. So it looks like we've got 1 red box here, but because our -1 modifier being on transit side, we won't have to worry about that. So we'll flip him over to patrol there next turn. And then we'll do the same with the Thresher. And again, no transit check required. We don't have any congregating risk yet. That just puts us to 4 here in South China Sea 2. Once you have more than 4, then every multiple of 4 is a +1 modifier on that transit event check. So yeah, so we've got 3 subs here that we can either leave here or send up into South China Sea 1 for the next turn. So let's move on to Brisbane. We've got 2 more coming out of there as well. And I'm thinking we are going to have some congregating risk here moving through the Coral Sea. But I'm thinking we want to try to get up into, let's see, we're getting kind of a little crowded there. We've got 3, but 2 of them are returning. So I think we'll try to send them up here to the Carolines. So let's do that. So the first one, so moving through here would make, we've got 4 subs there now, so he would be the 5th. So he's going to go Coral Sea to to the Solomons. So no red boxes, so we don't have to worry about transit event checks anyway. And we'll do the same with the grayback, leaving Brisbane, sailing up to here, and they'll both flip over to patrol side for next turn. Probably send them up into the Carolines. And then we've got quite a few here in Pearl Harbor to come out. Thinking probably want to try to get some more over there toward the Bonins. Looks like a good area. Marianas. So I think we'll just send them, a good chunk of them anyway. Probably not all, but we'll send several here into the Marshall Islands through the transfer route. So we've got no transit event checks to worry about in either of those areas. So why don't we take, let's do at least 4 and then see what we got from there. See who we're sending to. We got 5, 6, a couple 7s. That looks good. So we'll put them there. Thinking maybe, where else can we, I think if we head up this way and into the North Pacific, we can send some more over here into, we can get to the Bonins that way as well, and or up into the Kurile Islands, maybe over here toward Empire Pacific and some of these areas around Japan. Looks like some good hunting grounds. Let's see how many we got left. Looks like we have 6 more. You know what, let's just split them up. We'll send another one over this direction. Again, no red boxes, so we don't have to worry about transit event checks. And we'll send these guys up through to here. Now they will have, so we'll have to sequence this. So the first 4 will make it no problem, because even though, again, the 1 red box here, they're all on transit event side, so -1 makes it impossible to roll a 9. But then this 5th one, which is the, come on, plunger. Yeah, the plunger. He will have a +1 from congregating risk. So we will need to roll, but only a 9 will affect us. We got a 5. And he will go. You know what? Let's leave some of these guys on, actually some of these too. Let's leave them on transit event side because we want to get them over toward Japan. Let's leave the better subs on transit event side. We'll have these guys flip to patrol side. And then here, let's send 2 of them on. We'll leave 3 of them here to patrol. All right. I think that does it for all of our movements. So that should conclude the operations segment. For the intern segment, there's no weather to do anything with. We do need to remove spotted markers. And then we will advance the date for war progress. The war progress is actually what triggers the end of this scenario, but we won't be able to start rolling for that until I can find that chart. Here it is. To go to war progress 4, we won't be able to start rolling for that until July of 44, looks like. So We've got a while before we need to start checking that. So let's see, we did have, I remember we had at least one spotted marker out here somewhere. There's one. So let's roll to see if he loses that. 6 or less. Yes, he does. And were there any others? Yes, here's one. 6 or less. No, he remains spotted. Doesn't look like any more in that stack. I don't believe any of these were. I think it might have just been those two. Yep, I'm not seeing any others. Got quite a pile here. Yep, so I think we're good on spotted markers. So we'll advance to week 2. And I will conclude this video here. I think we're already up over 2 hours. So as you can see, for these larger campaigns, the turns take quite a bit longer. So we'll have to see. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to film 100% of every turn, or if maybe we'll just kind of go through the preliminaries of each turn and then cut and just maybe film just some highlights that happened during the operations segment. But let me know your opinion in the comments. Do you want to see every dirty detail of every single turn, or do you want to have some shorter videos that just kind of highlight and recap what happens each turn? But thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.